members of the SJA Housing Ministry Leadership Team, and we welcome you wherever you are on your journey. We hope that St. Joan of Arc feels like home to you, and today, as Julie said, is all about home. My name is Kris Berggren, and I've been at St. John's for about 10 years, along with my husband, Ben Oak, and occasionally our adult children. We live in South Minneapolis. I appreciate here the grounding in Catholic social teaching I experience and the sensibility that all are welcome at this table.
I'm Theresa Dolata, and I've been a parishioner for over 18 years, and I live in Minneapolis. I'm also a person living with mental health issues as well as physical health issues. I've been homeless several times, hospitalized several times, and am currently classified as housing insecure. But you know what? When St. Joan of Arc says we welcome you wherever you are on your journey, they truly mean that. Because of the love and support of the parishioners and staff, I've been able to make my journey one of healing and dignity.
I'm Damon Dean. I live in Mendota Heights. I'm a native son of St. Paul. My parents were active members of a black church, St. James African Methodist Episcopal Church in St. Paul. I attended high school in St. Paul. I went to college in St. Paul. I got married in St. Paul. Bought my first house in St. Paul. Started a family in St. Paul. So crossing the river to find my church home in Minneapolis is a journey I never conceived of taking. That is not until my wife and I decided to seek out a church home that could provide the robust youth program we desired for our 3 children. We found St. John's and its abundance of meaningful ministries promoted a religious and spiritual experience in a progressive and welcoming way.
Good morning. My name is Julie Andberg, and I've been attending St. Joan of Arc since 2004. I was brought up in a congregational church, and then my family moved to a Unitarian church when I was in my teens. By the time I found St. John's, I hadn't been to a church service for 20 years. I came to St. John's for the music, and I stayed for the message, and this is the community that helped me heal from an abusive relationship.
I never thought as a kid growing up in an upper middle class family in Wisconsin that I would experience homelessness. Having my lived experiences has really pushed me to fight for affordable, safe, sustainable, and supportive housing for all Minnesotans. I truly believe that fighting for housing as a basic human right is linked to my faith as a follower of Christ, who was born into homelessness and lived in tent encampments with his disciples.
My husband and I own a home in the Lyndhurst neighborhood of Minneapolis. I want for others the same feelings of comfort and security I feel in my home. It's where I keep my belongings, where I get blessed rest, where I can let down and cry in times of sadness, practice yoga in privacy without worrying about whether my belly will show in downward dog. And where I celebrate holidays and birthdays and everyday blessings.
When I was 10, my parents took in a young relative who was homeless and couch surfing. The concept of homelessness was foreign to my young mind. How could he be homeless if he was welcomed and staying in our home? I hadn't remembered that feeling until an August night in 2017, when I returned from a business trip at midnight and spent 3 hours driving the streets of South Minneapolis searching for a teenage family member of a close friend. I'm ashamed to say I didn't really see homelessness until I began searching for that lost teenager. I saw homelessness as I spoke to a father walking back to the car where his kids were sleeping. I saw homelessness when I described the teenager I was seeking through my car window to a grandmother who was homeless. These are our mothers, our fathers, sisters and brothers, our children living on the streets, and it's wrong.
Last November, I had open heart surgery, and I remember being immensely grateful that I could be discharged from the hospital to home, and that home would nurture me and help me heal after my surgery. It is heartbreaking to think about people who don't have a home or have a place to go to after a surgery or a hospital stay or from an abusive relationship.
I chose to be a leader in the housing ministry with Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative so that I can help in the mission to end homelessness. At first, I was hesitant about committing to such a cause that is so massive. I feared that as a leader, I would need to have a more clear and defined path with known actions leading to definite outcomes. Ending homelessness will not be straightforward. However, the process and the incremental successes have proven worth the effort. I enjoy the process of developing relationships with people striving to accomplish a powerful goal. I've been energized by our struggles and our successes. To give you an idea of what we do, we have been part of a small group that has worked for over a year to secure financing for new affordable housing in North Minneapolis. We had huge successes this week when the city approved $1.5 million towards this project. And when a local congregation, also donated another $1 million for this project and another one. We made this happen as a small group here at St. John's.
At the beginning of COVID lockdown, I attended a Zoom program that our housing ministry was putting on with Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative. I was very active in that meeting, even though I wasn't part of the team yet. Because I know a lot about housing issues and how policies and legislation work, so I spoke up. I spoke up a lot about what it is really like to be homeless and housing insecure. And I was approached about a week or two later asking if I would join the housing ministry leadership team. And when God calls you to action, well, I as a Catholic listened to that call.
I've been a member of the care committee for the past 5 years, meeting with people who come to us for help to pay for housing and utilities. And I was invited to learn more about Beacon. I met with staff from Beacon and I met with Julie Madden, and the more I got involved, the more committed I became to making this a focus of my energy. I can contribute to guaranteeing affordable housing for everybody by just showing up at meetings with legislators, which has been virtual the last couple of years, just sending emails and making phone calls. As a team, each of us is able to decide how involved we want to be and what we want to work on. I've seen how effective our collaborative can be, good example, and I know that if there are enough of us willing to bear witness to the need for affordable housing, that we can hold our policymakers accountable to making that a priority.
In addition to the work of owning a home, I have enjoyed privileges that come with being a homeowner, including the mortgage interest deduction that many of us take on our taxes. In fact, that mortgage interest deduction cost the federal government $30.2 billion in 2020. Without getting too wonky, I want to point out that this year we have a significant budget surplus in Minnesota, and I believe that we have enough to invest in the common good. Don't tell me housing subsidies are too costly, and don't tell me we don't have enough, and don't tell me who doesn't deserve housing subsidies. We want to make housing affordable to everyone, and we need your voices to add to our collective voice. Please stop by our table after Mass and sign up to learn more. And we have the opportunity to take a selfie with our Bring It Home Minnesota sign. Social media is a great way to get the word out.
Every fiber of my being believes that the first and most important issue to address is to ensure that everyone has a safe, secure, decent, affordable place to call home. Home is a primary and basic need. Having a home not only meets that basic need of shelter, but also provides opportunities for mental, physical, and spiritual growth. Growth that in turn will lead to a stronger community in which all of God's people thrive.
So today, we do invite you to join us in securing a home for all of God's people.
Think about what your home has meant to you and to your human dignity.
Think of the place you return to for comfort, for peace, for security.
See homelessness in your community. Really see it. See our brothers and our sisters.
And please sign up after Mass to learn more about our housing ministry and our partnership with Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative. We all have a part to play in bringing good news into this world, and we welcome you to join us, whatever your gifts are, and wherever you are on your journey. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.